Hi there. Are you a parent or caregiver of a teenager who seems to be behaving differently? Maybe they're acting out of character. Maybe they're withdrawing from activities or seem to be just more down than usual. These are changes that might seem like a typical teenager, but there could be signs of something that are more underlying and fundamental. These are common things I hear from parents in my daily practice. Today, we're talking about these subtle warning signs that your teenager's mental health might need your attention and why it's so important to act early. Adolescence is a critical time. We all know this. Is your child's development starting? Between the hormone changes, academic pressures, and the social roller coaster, it can be hard to tell what's normal and what might be a cause for concern. But as a parent, knowing signs like this and what to look out for can make a huge difference in supporting your child and getting into the support early. So let's talk about the 7 signs that might be a problem and what you need to do to help. Number 1 is mood changes. We often associate this as the typical teenage changes. But do these changes persist? Now, moods are common, obviously, but if your teen seems to be stuck in this pattern of sadness, irritability, snapping, or this emotional outburst for weeks on end, this is different. And this could be the sign of early anxiety or depression. Number 2, is your child starting to withdraw? If your teen starts to avoid friends or refuses to join in activities, not just going up to their bedroom and sitting on their bed, not wanting to come and socialize with the family. This is a broader aspect. At school, things that they normally enjoyed, people they normally enjoy dealing with. This could be the sign of social anxiety or even depression or even a mood disorder. So, we all need a little bit of alone time. But if your child is consistently choosing isolation over interaction, it's time to have a conversation. And of course, one of the main reasons that I see children is academic decline. So, third on the list is this decline in academic performance. So, as kids move from junior school to high school, academic pressure, there's a lot more organization that's needed, sometimes undiagnosed issues with focus, concentration, organization, motivation, ADHD. That's a common problem that I see. If your child's grades are slipping or they seem overwhelmed, it might be a time to think about it's pointing to underlying issues such as ADHD, anxiety, or even an undiagnosed learning disability. Believe it or not, these are problems that are often not picked up at junior school. Maybe your child's bright, they've had lots of help, or they're going to a different school where the teachers are picking these things up. So failing grades or procrastinations can be a warning sign that your child is struggling to cope with the stress. And it's more than just laziness, it's a sign that they need help. So, number 4, sleep changes. Now, we all know that teens love to sleep in, but extreme changes, like staying up at night or sleeping excessively, can be a sign of mental health concerns such as anxiety and depression. Excessive tiredness, insomnia, erratic sleep patterns should be taken really seriously. Sleep is crucial for emotional regulation. You're not going to be able to function academically, mood, socialize the next day. And when this regulation's off, mental health issues follow. And number 5, impulsive behavior. This is something I see. And often parents seek help because they are out of character behaviors. Now, we have impulsive or risky behavior I'm talking about. Now, teens, we know, they push the boundaries. And if you notice that your child is becoming more reckless or acting out of character, like experimenting, unfortunately, with substances, vaping, dangerous decisions, poor decisions, physical altercations, this could point to issues such as ADHD and emotional distress. Sudden risky behaviors, breaking rules, or constant outbursts can be signs that they're struggling to manage their emotions. And number 6, physical complaints. With no clear cause, sometimes teens may not know how to express the emotional pain or the emotional kind of dysregulation. Instead, they talk about physical symptoms like headaches, stomach aches. I don't want to go to the sports day. I've got a stomach ache. I don't want to go on the school camp. I feel unwell. I've got a sore throat, headache, stomach ache, my knees, my back sore. And these often are before these social events. If your teen is frequently complaining of these issues without a medical explanation, it should be considered a sign of anxiety or stress, and it needs further investigation. And then 7, and finally, substance use. Early experimentation with drug, alcohol, are often a way for teens to try and cope with their negative emotions. Often, if they're feeling kind of not motivated, isolated, these are an area that is an outlet for gratification to make themselves feel good. So if your teen starts substances, it's important to explore what might be going on emotionally. Changes in their friend group, secrecy, or the smell of alcohol or smoke can be a sign that your teen is turning to substances to deal with stress or anxiety. I've had teens that wake up at night, crawl into their parents' room, steal their credit cards, try and buy things online. With easy access to delivery, they can really kind of have access, and it's never been easier for substances to be abused. So we've got to be really vigilant. So why do these things pop up in adolescence, even if everything seems to be fine before? Well, the answer lies in the brain. Adolescence is a time of rapid development, especially in the areas of emotion, decision making, impulse control. As these areas develop, teens struggle to manage all these new emotions and pressures they're facing. And that's why it's so important for parents to recognize these signs early of mental health struggles. Addressing these issues can help your teen build resilience and prevent long-term difficulties. We don't want to wait until they kind of facing a tribunal at high school, facing a first warning, second warning, and even expulsion. So how can you help? So what can we do if you've seen these things? First, start a conversation. Don't accuse. You've got to develop rapport. You've got to be able to do it in a subtle way. You know, teens can see the questions coming a mile away. You've got to develop a space where they can feel that you're not going to kind of introduce repercussions. They've got to be able to share their feelings without judgment. Ask them how they're feeling and take some time. If they don't know, come back and revisit it. Don't try and cure and solve the problem in a few minutes. These have been problems that have been in a long time making. So next, encourage healthy habits like exercise, diet, sleep, and connection. Vitamin C, connecting with other people. Sporting activities. Once they start connecting, if they're busy doing other things, it's amazing how these other addictive or these other impulsive behaviors seem to be less important. So keep an eye on the social media. It can also be a source of stress. Talk to your teen about how it affects them. Set limits. And if these signs persist, you need to reach out, because that's what I deal for a living. These are things that we can get to the bottom. It might be confusing to you. Therapists, counselors, we need to look at things like anxiety, mood, medical problems, and of course, ADHD. So remember, adolescence is a challenging time for both parents and teens. But by staying tuned in to these warning signs and talking early, you can help your child navigate these years with confidence and to build emotional health. So thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to share it with other parents. and stay tuned in for other particular kind of tips that we're going to introduce.